A couple of weeks ago, I happened to be on vacation on some Greek island, and I posted an Instagram reel of like, hey, this is the creator life. I'm working on my iPad and stuff. And there were a few comments from people being like, I'd love to live this sort of lifestyle, but I just don't know where to start. And that idea of I'd love to be able to, if we imagine 99.9% of people listening to this, if you told them they could make 6 figures a year doing what they love, they'd be like, mind blown, would absolutely love that. So I wonder if we can kind of explore that 0 to 6 figure jump or sort of process. Let's say someone has got a full-time job. Let's say they're working in, I don't know, consulting or something corporate, and they love the idea of, I want to make a living doing what I love. How would we break that down?
And this is under the assumption that they hate doing what they're doing.
Yes.
I was like, because I always like to be clear. I was like, I've got employees that make $1 million a year plus. So like you can absolutely become filthy wealthy, and that's income, right? And so a lot of businesses that are at $10 million a year, the owner might only take $1 million in income, depending on, margins, et cetera. And so like a lot of employees will wish for, they see top line as income, which is just a very employee mindset. They're like, oh, if I make 6 figures a year, I'll make 6 figures a year. It's like, well, if you really want to make 6 figures a year, I'll probably make 500 grand a year. Revenue wise, at least, if you don't want to have just bought yourself another job, right? Because so let's talk through this transition. So if you're an employee, when you make the switch, you're still an employee. You're just an employee of a different business that you happen to own, and you are basically 100% of the expenses. And so the business itself actually makes no money. You as the sole employee of that thing and the boss gets to call your own shots, but you were still the employee, right? So you're wearing all the hats, et cetera. And so it's relatively nuanced. You know what I mean? Like if you had a 6-figure consulting job and then you start consulting on the side, for example, through your own LLC, you have the same job. You just got rid of the person who was giving you direction, and now you are responsible, right? The thing that most people have to do is they have to go get money, right? You have to go make money. And the way you do that is you sell stuff. Right. And the way that you can even begin the conversation to sell stuff is that you have to have people who show interest in the thing, which means you have to make your products known. And we do that through advertising, right? And there's 5 ways to advertise, which I just went over earlier. And so it's like, pick one of those 5 ways, start doing it on a consistent basis, bring people in. What do you sell them? That's what the $100 million offers book is for. Is like, this is how you figure out what to sell. And then you sell them the thing. And then after that, you'll have some delivery. Now, usually if you have a consistent method of advertising and selling with a what to sell from the offer, then you can start getting people to help you on the level of delivery you have, which comes down to breaking the delivery into chunks rather than holistically, and saying, how can I specialize the labor? Because you trying to say, I just need somebody to do what I do is silly, right? You need to figure out, how can I get 5 people to do 20% of what I'm doing and do it consistently, right? And then you can increase your advertising. Sales is a very high leverage thing in the beginning. If you spent all day selling, just you would have enough for 5 people to do work, right? And so then you would have a business,